Ever wanted to have a better, healthier, more enjoyable life? One that's rich with health, vibrant with energy, and saturated with confidence? If so, look no further than the ancient practice of camping. Camping can make your life better. A 2013 study conducted by the University of Colorado Boulder shows that even a few days getting away from artificial light and into the great outdoors actually resets our circadian rhythms, which is just a fancy way of saying it better aligns us with nature's day and night cycle. Then, a year later, in 2014, the University of Michigan conducted research that revealed that taking walks in nature holds a myriad of mental health benefits, including decreased stress, increased confidence, and combated depression that is common in those who live in urban areas. And this is even truer of those who immerse themselves in nature for a prolonged period of time. Camping then isn't just something we do for fun or an activity we engage in to enjoy the beauty of God's good creation, but it provides and holds for us a host of physical, mental, emotional, and yes, even spiritual benefits. Simply put, camping can foster holistic health. So, now that you know of the many benefits camping has to offer, I'd like to spend the next few minutes and share with some of you the beauty that is camping and some camping essentials. Things to keep in mind and plan for when going camping in the great outdoors so that you can have a successful and beneficial time in the wild. So, consider this Camping 101, a newbie's guide to roughing it in the great outdoors, where first we'll discuss the importance of considering the season and time of year in which to plan your camping trip around. Then we'll discuss the importance of location and how locality can make your camping trip a boom or a bust. And finally, we'll wrap up by looking at the importance of the camper's gear, what and what not to bring, as well as the question of quality when considering what gear to bring with us into the great outdoors. So, first, the time of year. Many, if not all of us, have heard stories or can relate to the feeling of putting all of this time, effort, and energy into planning the perfect camping weekend, hauling ourselves up to a mountain or out into the woods, getting our camping site ready, only to find that the weekend is absolutely miserably cold or miserably hot. And if you're not careful, you could just end up like these guys. Merry and Pippin, for all you Lord of the Rings fans, stuck on a freezing cold mountain, shivering, a near death experience, absolutely wrecked in the wildness of nature. So just skip that altogether and plan ahead of time the time of year in which you're going to go camping. Because camping in extreme temperatures is a great way to ruin your camping experience, which is why it's absolutely critical for you to pick the right time of year to go. A fair weathered weekend for your time in the great outdoors. One of the first things that the National Park Service encourages campers to consider is the time of year, as there can be not only enjoyable precautions that we can take, but also safety issues at play that can prohibit camping from having a good weekend in the great outdoors. So, they tell us to avoid times that are in the dead of winter or times that are in the heat of summer so that we can be safe and able to enjoy our time in the wild. And in fact, the same National Park Services also released various statistics from 2003 to 2007 that revealed that both heat and cold exposure lie in the top 10 causes of death in camping at national parks. That's a big deal. So, picking the right time of year to go camping isn't just a matter of comfortability, but in extreme cases, it can be a matter of life and death. So, pick a good weekend with good weather at a location that you love, and you'll be well on your way to enjoying a comfortable time away in nature. Which brings me to our second camping essential: location. Location is the lifeblood of the camping experience. The right location can foster relaxation, excitement, and wonder, while the wrong location can lead to stress, frustration, and even discouragement. A couple things to keep in mind when it comes to location. First, keep in mind the variable of terrain. Where are you camping? Are you camping in the mountains? Are you camping near a cliff? Are you camping in the open woods? Don't bite off more than you can chew. Know your skill level with camping and pick a terrain that is easy and doable for you as the camper. And remember that the goal is comfort and positioning yourself to receive the many benefits that camping has to offer. Failing to keep in mind the terrain can short circuit our ability to receive these benefits that nature has for us. And second, keep in mind the variable of people. Is location that you picked usually crowded with people, or do you have wide open space for solitude and silence and stillness? In 2016, the University of Helsinki released research that reveals that everyone, both introverts and extroverts alike, can become drained with too much socializing and needs solitude and emotionally healthy stillness and quiet in order for them to reset. So, camping away from the crowds provides for us this solitude that we so need to reset. So, I want to encourage you, don't pick a location that's overly crowded, but one that allows you to embrace and glean the many benefits of the wild. So, when it comes to location, keep in mind the terrain and the crowded nature of some of the locations you may choose, and you'll be set up for success and to receive these many physical, mental, emotional, and even spiritual benefits that camping has to offer. There is, however, one more thing that is essential to take into account when camping, and that is the gear that we bring with us to brave the wild. So let's talk equipment as we wrap up here. You can pick the perfect weekend in nature's very best location, but ruin it all if you bring the wrong equipment. Last year, the National Park Service released a list of the simple necessities that every camper needs to plan on bringing on their camping trip and broke them down into four main categories. The first is water. Bringing a water jug and several water bottles is absolutely crucial for dehydration, especially in higher elevations. If you want to keep yourself hydrated and avoid dehydration, bring with you these water supplies, especially if you're in the backcountry, which then the National Park Service recommends that we bring with us a water purifier that's necessary in order to protect ourselves from the backwater bacteria that we may find in the open wild. The second category is food. Make sure you pack the right amount of food as well as the right kind of food. Are you bringing protein? Are you bringing wheat? Are you bringing sustainable food that can give you the energy necessary to spending a prolonged period of time out in the great outdoors? Make sure you pack also the cookware necessary to heat the food that you're planning on feasting on, because you don't want to be chomping on raw steak, people. Yuck, disgusting. And third category that the National Park Service gives us is shelter, which is perhaps the most important one. Don't forget your tent and don't forget your sleeping bag, as these things are a no-brainer essential for warmth. Sleeping pads and easily inflatable air mattresses are also optional. However, they foster comfortability and a good night's sleep and may in fact position you to receive the benefits that we've been alluding to this whole time. But the fourth and final category is hygiene. Perhaps an overlooked element in the planning for a camping trip, but bringing hygienic items is a must need for cleanliness and even safety. Things like wet wipes, hand sanitizers, toothbrush, toothpaste, and soap will make the camping experience better and more comfortable. But more important than all of these things, the number one thing to keep in mind when planning for hygiene in the wild is toilet paper. Don't bring leaves if you don't have to. Just bring the toilet paper. You're going to be better for it. You forget this and you can kiss your comfortable weekend in the great outdoors goodbye. Toilet paper, toilet paper, toilet paper. So, in summary, the activity of camping can give us a number of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual benefits, but three primary things are essential in reaping these benefits and engaging in a comfortable camping experience. The first is choosing the time of year, one that's not too hot and not too cold. The second is choosing the right location, away from the crowds and immersed in nature. And the third is coming prepared with the right gear and equipment, which effectively meets our needs of food, water, shelter, and hygiene. So, to remember these four things, I want you to just think of the acronym TENT. Time of year, equipment, nature, and yes, toilet paper. Don't forget that toilet paper. Remembering these essentials as we embark on our nature and our excursion into the great outdoors will allow us to reap the many benefits of camping that it has to offer us, as well as enjoy the beautiful outdoors and creation of our good Creator. Thanks for listening, guys.